Ball State SportsLink's third Down Chirp is presented by Papa John's.
Hard to believe it is that time of the year, our final studio show. Welcome back to another episode of Third Down Chirp, delivered by Papa John's. I'm your host, Luke Martin. Guys, it's here, the season finale of Third Down Chirp. It's hard to believe.
It really is hard to believe. A nice win over Eastern Michigan, though, for the seniors. One last time at Bowling Green for Ball State.
It seems like just yesterday we were talking about Colgate, and all of a sudden 12 games have passed us up just like that.
It's gone by really fast. It's been a lot of fun, though, this season on Third Down Chirp. But like Tyler Bradfield mentioned, what a win for the Ball State Cardinals over the weekend against the Eastern Michigan Eagles. And let's take a look at the stats from that game. Tyler, what jumped out to you from the Cardinals' victory?
Well, what jumped out to me was a nice start out of the gate. They developed a nice lead and built kind of a comfort zone. Eastern Michigan had the better second half than Ball State did, but it was because of that nice start they were able to pull out the victory.
Juwan Edwards in full beast mode on his senior day. His one touchdown that you see there on the graphic, spun off a man, got out to the edge, and used his speed for a touchdown. It was signature Juwan Edwards.
And that was also on a fourth down play. Huge game in the ball game. And following the win, Coach Limbo mentioned how this year's senior class has accomplished a rare feat.
Obviously, we'd all like to be in a better place right now than we are, but this win gives this senior class, puts them in pretty elite company, actually. Last year's seniors won 29 games. This year's seniors have now won 29 games, and the last time that's happened here at Ball State was 1980. So it just gives you an idea that, yeah, we may not have won some of the games that we had a shot at or would like to have so far this year, but, you know, this isn't always the easiest place to have success either, and these guys have achieved quite a bit of it during their time.
No doubt this year's senior class, a lot of accomplishments, even though they're not going to go out the way they want to. Well, now the question is, are these guys going to go out the way they want to in our coaching segments? Now it's time to take a look at defensive back coach Shannon Morrison as he teaches this guy, Connor Onion, how to play man-to-man coverage as a defensive back.
We continue our Third Down Chirp coaching segments with secondary coach, defensive back coach, Coach Morrison. Coach, thanks so much for taking the time. We're going to talk a little bit about today, man coverage defending the pass. Of course, when you say that, what does that mean for the viewers at home that may not know what that means?
Man coverage, it is what it is. There's nothing to describe other than it's man on man.
So Tyler and Connor will be your representatives here. Connor will be your defensive back. Tyler will be your wide receiver, whatever you want to use him as.
Okay, all right. So first thing about playing defensive back, the first thing, that's the most important thing and the most critical thing is the stance and start. Okay, so whenever we talk about stance and start, we talk about feet underneath our armpit, shoulder width apart there, right underneath your armpits. All right, now, what we always do is we take an inside stagger with our foot. Okay, so we go toe to instep. So we go toe to instep, inside foot is back, all right, with our feet just slightly shoulder width apart, and I usually call it under your armpits, okay? So then we're gonna bend with our knees, okay? Our hips, our back, chest over our toes, all right? We're gonna get a little flexion in our ankles, okay? And then we're gonna let our arms hang, all right? And what the next thing I'm gonna tell them is once we get in the stance, you wanna try to get your butt up, okay? And by getting your butt up, that allows your chest to get over your toes, so now you got a good balanced step, okay? We wanna slightly pigeon toe our feet, so that puts your weight up on the balls of your feet, okay? So you're gonna slightly turn your toes in, your heels will be out, okay? You're gonna have your chest over your toes, you're bending with your hips, chest over your toes, knees, a little bit of flexion in your ankle, okay? And then the first thing we're gonna do is, because we protect the inside, our inside foot is back, so our first step is gonna be off that back, push your toes into the ground, and that first step will be straight back with the foot that's back, okay? So that's where most of your weight's gonna be. The next part of it is we call it baby to big. We take baby steps and then we work big steps in the pedal, okay? So if you're the receiver coming off the ball, okay, we would normally be in a 1-by-7 position, okay? 1 yard inside the receiver, 7 yards deep, okay? You're gonna key the hip, okay, because that's the one part of the body that can't move, okay? So the head and shoulders can move, they can rock, they can give you false keys. The hip can never give you a false key, okay? But you're reading the hip, and this hip will move. So then it got to go. As you're baby stepping, you may have to weave. So as that hip moves, I've got to point my body and push off that inside foot to wherever that hip goes, whatever direction that hip points, okay? So that's part of man coverage, all right? So you're protecting the inside. We put you a yard inside. Now I'm reading the hip. Now, as that receiver comes and he gets into this 3 to 4 yard window, now I've got to flip my hips, man turn, which is turn towards the man, and now I got to learn to get into him, what we call get in phase, okay, get shoulder to shoulder, so now I can play deep ball and close up the space. That happens when you're playing zone. We try to close up the space to play man coverage. All right? What else?
I think Coach Morrison explained it perfectly, because that's what man coverage, which that's what we want to talk about here on Third Down Chirp with our coaching segments. Coach, I don't know if we're yet ready to be in part of your defensive backfield.
I'm ready to lock him down.
We will stick to hosting the studio show. Coach, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate the time. Sorry I didn't give you any drills today.
Thanks to Coach Morrison, and apparently Connor's still in his stance and ready to go and play defensive back.
Get up, man.
They call me a shutdown corner, and I'm ready at all times.
Well, with the injury,
they called Onion Island.
With the injury issues that Ball State has had, you may get a shot to play on the defense against Bowling Green Friday. One game left, the Bowling Green Falcons, which means we have one more Third Down Chirp scouting report, this time with head coach Pete Limbo.
The essence of what they do is an up-tempo, no-huddle spread. They like to throw the ball around. A lot of quick throws, a lot of screens, but they'll take their shots down the field, and I think they're smart about their run game. They know how to attack you in the run game. So if you're giving them certain looks, they have certain runs that they like to go to. There's a group that loses perhaps the most high-profile quarterback in the league coming back from last season in their first game or after their first game, which was a tough loss at Western Kentucky, which is another very talented team. And James Kanapke comes in, and here they are leading the East Division at this point, and coming off another very good year.
Now it's that time of the show everybody is excited about. The big three facts. It's the last big three of the year. So Torey Fox has got to make it count. Torey, welcome to the show. Any Thanksgiving themed facts for us this week?
Not this time, perhaps next year.
Okay.
Still got some good ones, all right? So welcome into the season finale of the Big Three. Well, there's a first time for everything, right? You've heard that saying. Well, it applied to many different Cardinals last weekend against Eastern Michigan. Corey Lacanaria scored his first career touchdown. Ben Ingle scored his first career touchdown on a fumble recovery on the EMU 5. And punter Kyle Schmidt kicked his career-long punt of 70 yards. All of this coming last week in a 45-30 win over Eastern Michigan. Second, what will Bowling Green do? The Falcons clinched a berth in the MAC championship game through only 6 conference games. Only Oregon clinched a berth in a conference championship match quicker than the Falcons did. So it begs the question, does Bowling Green play the starters or do they sit them in preparation for the December 5th match? Somewhere, Tony Dungy and Bill Polian are having the exact same conversation that Bowling Green is having this week. And finally, excuse us as we turn the camera a little bit on ourselves. This is our 12th and final Third Down Chirp episode of the year. Approximately 25 students have contributed to the show in a variety of ways, from filming, from editing, from interviewing, chipping in approximately 240 hours total this semester to bring this show to you each and every week. We hope you have enjoyed it just as much as we have this year. So the final time coming back to you guys, finally. Am I doing this right, Connor? Am I doing it right? All right.
You need to stagger the feet a little bit.
Okay, I'll get it. Maybe next time.
A little better knee bend. You're getting there, though.
All right. Great job all year long by Torey Fox doing the big three. All right, guys, X factors for the game Friday against Bowling Green.
Well, Jack Milas goes down in the win against Eastern Michigan, so now you come back to Ozzie Man. Therefore, my X factor is the wide receiver, Jordan Williams. Take a look at his numbers when Ozzie Man was in there through the first 5 games. 3 catches, per game, 28 yards, and 1 touchdown through those 5. When Jack came around, 7 catches per game, 95 yards per, and 4 touchdowns, nearly doubled his numbers. I'd like to see Mann and Williams get connected down deep.
Well, it's no secret that this defense has been decimated by the injury bug this season, especially in the defensive backfield. So that's why my X factor is Gilbert St. Louis. He'll likely draw the start on Friday against Bowling Green, as Brian Jones is doubtful to play. He's a transfer from UConn in his senior season, and he's going to have a true freshman safety opposite of him in Dedrick Cromartie. He needs to be a leader out there, needs to direct Cromartie around a little bit, and they're going to be responsible for slowing down the high-flying passing attack of the Bowling Green Falcons.
Well, as Tyler mentioned, Jack Milas gone with a wrist injury, so who's next up? Ozzie Mann. I think Ozzie Mann is really going to be key for this football game. It's a big game for this team. They went out with a big win at home. The 2 games you remember as a senior is your last home game and the last game you ever play, and that's going to be huge, and Ozzie Mann's going to be a big part of that. Tyler mentioned those offensive numbers. We know that Ozzie was the star at the beginning of the year. This is a shot for him. It's a big shot. Jack goes down. Who knows? For next year and years to come, this could be a game that could really jumpstart something for Ozzie Mann heading into next year. Well, that's going to do it for this episode and season of Third Down Chirp. It is hard to believe, guys, that we are done here for this year, but don't worry. Third Down Chirp will be back in the spring with Torey, Tyler, and Connor. Unfortunately, my contract runs out, guys. I don't have the agent that you guys do. So it is going to be a lot of fun. It's been the time of my life hosting Third Down Chirp for 2 years. Of course, with this being my final show, we're going to end it the same way by thanking those that deserve to be thanked. Alex Seitz, Drew Adamson, heading our production team, faculty advisors, Alex Cartman, Chris Taylor, Brad Daly, the talent team of Torey Fox, Tyler Bradfield, Connor Onion, and not just thanking them all year long for a great job working with me and working with everybody, but for also being an extended family. So for the final time from Studio B, go Cardinals, beat the Falcons.